There is a particularly coquettish female student who leans on me every time she comes to work out. I was so distracted that I almost couldn't control myself. One night, she asked me to go to her house for fitness. When I arrived at her house, I saw that she was not wearing anything under her silk nightgown. That night, I almost lost my life. I am a fitness trainer and I see a lot of beautiful women every day. But Xia Wan'er is the only one whose beauty fascinates me so much. She has skin as white and smooth as milk, and a curvy figure with an impressive body. The delicate face, which is as big as a palm, coupled with the bright red lips, makes people want to kiss it at first sight. The first time I saw her I was hooked. But I am just an ordinary man with ordinary looks, ordinary family background and ordinary job. Among the dozen or so trainers in the gym, he is inconspicuous. But what I didn't expect was that she actually appointed me to be her personal trainer and bought the most expensive package. I was so happy that I couldn't sleep all night, and I became even more excited when I thought about the opportunity to have close contact with her. The first time she attended class, Xia Wan'er wore a tight vest with spaghetti straps. The figure that cannot be grasped with one hand is clearly visible. I am really worried that the shoulder straps cannot support the weight and will break at any time. I was mesmerized by the sight. Xia Wan'er stared at me and coughed lightly. Then I realized that my look was too revealing and so rude. I scratched my head awkwardly and had to use the course introduction to avoid embarrassment. Today we will start with basic abdominal breathing. Use your abdomen, inhale, exhale, just follow me. After trying several times, Xia Wan'er pouted and indicated that she couldn't learn it. Is it here? She took my hand and placed it on her belly. She was wearing a half vest, so my hand directly touched her soft waist. Even my breathing stopped for a moment, and then I pulled my hand back as if I had been electrocuted. Seeing my embarrassed look, she, who had always had a cold face, actually smiled. I didn't expect you to be such a gentleman. I cleared my throat and said, I am a professional fitness trainer. I have some basic professional ethics. Afterwards, Xia Wan'er did not make any excessive movements, but completed the private lesson seriously. After she left, I went into the shower and took a cold shower, and only then did I calm down. According to the course schedule, the next class should be in 2 days, but Xia Wan'er came again the next day. While doing warm-up exercises, she deliberately rubbed me with her arm. I avoided her, and she rubbed against me again. I avoided her again, and she rubbed against me again. This repeated several times. I couldn't sleep all night thinking about you. She grabbed my hand and whispered in my ear. I admit that I was distracted, but it was working hours after all, so I was still rational. Why are you thinking about me? I'm a middle-aged man, there's nothing worth thinking about. When your hand rests on my belly, it feels so warm and powerful. She lowered her voice and leaned towards me. She was wearing a loose low-neck t-shirt today, and from my angle, the whole view was visible. I swallowed and my Adam's apple rolled up and down. She noticed my gaze, smiled, and pulled her clothes back. No one spoke again and the class continued. But after a short while of formal training, she was panting and complaining of being tired. I had to stop. Your posture is wrong, so you get tired easily. I'll teach you a set of movements. If you practice every day, you'll see improvement. But Xia Wan'er was a little stupid and couldn't learn anything. Coach, your moves are too difficult. I can't do them. Her voice was charming and a little coquettish, and her eyes like bells looked straight at me. I had to hold her waist, lift her legs and help her correct her movements. She supported herself on the ground with her hands, but her hands were not strong enough to support her own weight. Her whole body began to sway, and she leaned towards me intentionally or unintentionally. I was distracted for a moment, and my hand that was holding her thigh rubbed it twice for some unknown reason. Without the support of my hand, she tilted her body and fell on my chest. I took the opportunity to hug her. Burying my nose in her hair, I could smell a scent mixed with sweat that was fascinating. I took a few greedy puffs and tightened my arms around her. Coach, let go. Xia Wan'er pushed me, and I came to my senses and quickly let her go. I apologized profusely. Not only was Xia Wan'er not angry, she even covered her mouth and smiled. I didn't have the energy to continue, so I had to hastily end today's class. Just as I was about to leave, Xia Wan'er stopped me. She placed her hands on my pecs and worked her way down to my abs. "Coach, your class is really interesting, but I don't have time during the day. Can you change the class to the evening?" I resisted the urge and said calmly, "You are an SVIP, you can attend class anytime you want." She looked at me intently, and at this moment there was a hint of mist in her eyes. My heart trembled. Is it what I thought? My heart leaped with joy, and even my voice became cheerful. "You call me, I'll be there whenever you call." That night, I held my phone and couldn't help but smile foolishly. Who wouldn't want to date such a perfect woman? I never thought such a good thing would happen to me. I unlocked the phone 800 times in 1 hour, but it was as quiet as a chicken, not even a single text message. Before I knew it, I fell asleep leaning on the sofa. In a daze, I felt someone touching my face. When I opened my eyes, I was so scared that I almost rolled off the sofa. "Xia Wan'er came at some point, are you awake?" Before I could react, she came forward and blocked my mouth with her red lips. An electric current rushed straight into my lower body, and my reason was completely controlled by desire. I took the initiative and pressed Xia Wan'er under me. I couldn't wait any longer and reached my hand under her clothes impatiently. But the sofa was too small, and I rolled over and fell off it. I grimaced in pain and woke up instantly. I got up, but Xia Wan'er was nowhere to be seen. The room was quiet and I was clearly the only one there. It turned out to be a dream, I sighed softly. It must be because I thought too much during the day that I dreamed about her. It would be a lie to say that I don't feel lost. Even if it's just a dream, it's good to have a close encounter with her. Who knew I would wake up from this dream so early? I opened a bottle of beer in frustration and was about to drink it when the phone rang. The caller ID showed an unfamiliar number. "Coach, I can't sleep, can you work out with me?" I looked at the time and it was 10 o'clock in the evening. Fitness at this time. I secretly rejoiced, thinking that he might not be able to sleep because he missed me so much. I didn't even have time to change my clothes, and I rushed to the gym in just my shorts and a white vest. At this time in the evening, the gym has long been closed. A man and a woman are alone in a room, and they can do whatever they want. Thinking of this, I felt hot all over and my pace quickened. Xia Wan'er said she had arrived, but the gym was pitch black and didn't look like there was anyone there. I was just confused when I suddenly heard a woman scream from inside. Following the sound, I saw Xia Wan'er sweating profusely while running on the treadmill. It was pitch black all around, with only the faint light on the treadmill screen just illuminating Xia Wan'er's chest. Two big white rabbits, jumping around. She wasn't wearing any underwear. But the next second, I had no time to think about it. "Coach, help me, I can't stop." It turned out that the treadmill was broken. Before he could finish his words, Xia Wan'er flew out of the machine. I immediately rushed over to catch her, and the huge impact caused us to fall to the ground together. As a human cushion, I fell on my back, pretty hard, and it was so painful that I gasped. Xia Wan'er apologized and rubbed my body with her hands. She wanted to help me up. But the lights were off in the gym, so it was pitch dark. As luck would have it, her hand touched a place it shouldn't have touched. The sudden stimulation made my mind go blank. I didn't say anything, firstly because it was too embarrassing, and secondly because it was exactly what I had dreamed of. The phone screen on the ground lit up at an inopportune moment. When Xia Wan'er realized it belatedly, she screamed. I was so scared that I stuttered, I thought it was, I'm sorry. I felt empty inside, and said angrily, "You knocked me apart. You deserve my punishment." Xia Wan'er looked at a loss, tears welling up in her eyes. "I've learned massage." After that, she put her hands on my waist and started pressing. The warmth of her palm made my face hot. "Stop, stop, stop." I quickly pushed her away, it was really annoying. "Stay here, I'll go turn on the light." Turning on the light was just my excuse. I actually wanted to go to the bathroom to relieve myself, otherwise I would feel uncomfortable holding it in. After finally calming down, I returned to the hall, but Xia Wan'er was gone. There were rustling sounds in the lounge, and Xia Wan'er's voice in a low voice. Is there a third person here besides Xia Wan'er and me? I walked lightly and approached the lounge quietly. Through the crack in the door, I saw that Xia Wan'er was being pressed down by a man. The man's hands roamed freely on her body. How shameless of you to work out with a man at this hour. Since you're so lonely, why don't I help you? Xia Wan'er tore at her clothes, struggled and cried, begging the men to let her go. With the light coming in from outside, I could see the men clearly. It was Du Ming who often came to work out. He had a little money at home, was a playboy and did not work properly. He has a very bad reputation in the gym and often harasses female customers. When the girls ignored him, he would scare them so that they would never come again. We all have a headache with him, but we can't help but be generous with him. Nothing serious ever happened, so Mr. Wang had no choice but to turn a blind eye. I know he has had his eyes on Xia Wan'er for a long time. Every time Xia Wan'er came to see me, he followed her and showed his courtesy. But Xia Wan'er didn't even look at him, which made him very unhappy. How dare you take that poor fellow down? I wonder how long you can keep pretending. He gritted his teeth, pinched Xia Wan'er's neck with one hand, and reached for the zipper of his jeans with the other. Xia Wan'er screamed until her voice became hoarse. I was furious. I had finally created this opportunity, but you snatched it away. When Du Ming took out the tools to commit the crime, I kicked the door of the lounge open. Before he could react, I grabbed his hair and punched him to the ground. I used 80 of my strength in this punch, and he lay on the ground and couldn't get up for a while. I immediately went to pull Xia Wan'er. She was so frightened that she hugged me and trembled all over. I felt even more distressed, and the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I grabbed Du Ming's clothes and lifted him up from the ground. Come on, follow me to the police station. No, how Ge? Xia Wan'er held my hand. She didn't call me coach, she called me by my name. It seems that this heroic act of saving the beauty was not in vain, at least it brought us closer together. But I don't understand. Xia Wan'er is the victim, but she stopped me from calling the police. Seeing my confusion, Xia Wan'er explained. It's better to have less trouble than more. I'm afraid it will affect your work. Du Ming is not someone you want to mess with. I felt warm inside. It was already this time. Xia Wan'er was almost. She actually thought about me, which really touched me. Bah. It's so late, don't tell me you're just here to work out. Du Ming held onto the wall and managed to keep his balance. He wiped the blood from his mouth, pointed at me and said, Don't think I don't know that you are going to have sex with her here. Nonsense, isn't this obvious? Are you really going to work out in the middle of the night? Dare to hit me, go to hell. Du Ming picked up the dumbbell on the ground and threw it at me. We got into a scuffle. Although Du Ming is younger than me, he is a pretty boy with skinny arms and legs, so he is no match for me. In less than 3 or 2 strokes, I was riding on him and beating him. Du Ming knew he couldn't win, so he just turned to talking. Xia Wan'er, don't regret it. If you follow him, you will definitely not have a good life. Brother Hao is much better than you. At least Brother Hao is a gentleman, unlike you. A hooligan. This poor guy has the desire but not the courage to do it. I just did what he wanted to do. Not only does he ruin my good deeds, he also keeps calling me a poor bastard. I was so angry that I had no place to vent, so I hit him even harder. After a while, his face was bruised and swollen, and he held his head and begged for mercy. My relationship with Brother Hao is my business, you have no right to interfere. Xia Wan'er kicked Du Ming and took me away. After getting in the car, she took out the medicine box and disinfected and applied medicine to my wound. Brother Hao, I'm sorry. I have caused you trouble. As Xia Wan'er spoke, tears fell like pearls. Thinking about what she had just said about being with me, I felt secretly delighted and hugged the beauty in my arms. While stroking her fragrant and smooth back, he comforted her. After all, he was the one who made the mistake first. We were just acting in self-defense and we have nothing to fear. If you really want to follow me, I will never let you get hurt. Xia Wan'er blushed and lowered her head. Although I said this, I actually wasn't sure. In addition to being lustful, Du Ming is also known for being petty. Last time, someone bumped into him and didn't apologize, so he hired someone to beat that person up. Finally, the case was brought to the police station, but nothing was done. I am just a powerless and moneyless laborer. I cannot afford the consequences of my temporary heroic spirit. But you must not be stage frightened in front of Xia Wan'er, you have to perform fully. To prevent Du Ming from causing you trouble again, I'll take you home after work these few days. Brother Hao, you are so nice to me. Xia Wan'er looked at me with eyes full of admiration and gratitude, and I knew that today was worth it. When I arrived downstairs of her building, I declined her invitation to go upstairs and sit down. I know very well that the more you want to succeed, the less impatient you should be. Besides, Xia Wan'er had just experienced something like that, and the timing was not right. After Xia Wan'er left, I sat in a daze in the car. I am in my 30s and I also want to have a family. I used to dream of a family life with a wife, children, and a warm bed. Unfortunately, girls nowadays are very materialistic. My family is not well off and I have no house or car. I didn't even want to meet the girl introduced by an acquaintance. It's even more impossible to meet someone in the gym, but it's possible to just flirt with them. I sighed softly. Xia Wan'er is a good girl with a good personality and beautiful looks. If she is willing to talk to me, I will definitely treat her well. But she was dressed elegantly, and the bag she was holding alone was very expensive. How could a woman like this fall in love with me? I shook my head and laughed at myself for daydreaming. Unless I have money, this is the first time I have such a strong desire for money. My mood suddenly fell to the bottom and cigarette butts fell to the ground. The next day I returned to the gym and found that I couldn't punch in or open my private locker. My heart skipped a beat. Could something have happened? Brother Hao, why did you come back? Didn't you quit? Lingling at the front desk said in surprise when she saw me. I just found out that I was fired and no one notified me in advance. I went to Mr. Wang's office angrily, but unexpectedly I was scolded. You attempted rape and also caused malicious injury. Fortunately, Chang Xiao did not pursue the matter, otherwise you would have been sentenced to several years in prison. I can't afford to support you, a great Buddha. You should find another job. After hearing what Mr. Wang said, I immediately understood. This is Du Ming's ability to use money to confuse right and wrong. It would be useless even if I called the police, as he probably has already deleted the surveillance footage. Sure enough, as soon as I left the office, Mr. Wang called Du Ming. Master Chang, he's already been kicked out. I've told several gyms I'm familiar with, and no one dares to hire him for my sake. Don't worry, remember to take care of my business in the future. I was so angry that I poured 100-degree boiling water on the 2 money trees in front of his door. I realized the importance of money yesterday, and today I lost my job. It is estimated that other gyms will boycott it and it will be difficult to find another one. My mood reached its peak. I was still wandering around when I received a call from Xia Wan'er. Brother Hao, I went to the gym to look for you, and they said you had quit. They also said they had a video of you and me, and they forced me to buy it, or they wouldn't let me leave. I was so angry that smoke was coming out of my head. These bastards always do such despicable things. It goes without saying that it was Du Ming's idea. If he can't get Xia Wan'er, he will take revenge maliciously. I immediately ran to the gym. But this time I didn't go through the front door, but took the back stairs which no one usually used. Quietly came to Mr. Wang's office. Xia Wan'er was blocked inside by them, and Du Ming and Mr. Wang cornered her. Du Ming slapped Xia Wan'er on the fair face, and 5 finger marks were clearly visible. Bitch, run, scream, see who will save you this time. Master Chang really has good taste. Who wouldn't be confused by such top-quality stuff? I'll go first, and then you. Mr. Wang nodded rapidly, saliva flowing from the corners of his mouth. Xia Wan'er's mouth was stuffed with her clothes and she couldn't scream. I could only shake my head desperately. My blood suddenly rushed up and my breath was stuck in my chest. Angry and sad. I rushed in and kicked him over. I'm going to beat you to death today for your father. It's daytime now, and the noise I make soon attracted a group of guests. Mr. Wang was afraid that the matter would get out of hand, so he quickly pulled Du Ming and I apart and tried to smooth things over. It's just a misunderstanding. It's over. It's all over. I've taken off my clothes, and you're saying it's a misunderstanding. I have a loud voice and everyone in the audience can hear me when I roar. Mr. Wang looked at Du Ming awkwardly, hesitating. Although Du Ming is a hooligan, he would not dare to do anything wrong in public. I thought he was going to stop there, but he took out an IOU. If you don't pay your debt, you have the right to pay it back with your body. It's written in black and white. Who says it's a misunderstanding? I pulled the IOU over and took a look at it. It clearly had Xia Wan'er's signature and handprint on it. Don't be the first to complain. How could Xia Wan'er owe you money? If you don't believe me, ask her. Xia Wan'er was crying with tears in her eyes and nodded at me. My heart sank. Now we were the one who was not in the right. Brother Hao, please help me. Xia Wan'er threw herself on me and shook like a sieve. Her already thin body now looked like a delicate flower blown by the wind and rain. Brother Hao, if you help me, I will follow you and work like a slave to repay you. I gritted my teeth and hugged her tightly. I paid back the money she owed me. Gao Kuan, don't be so arrogant. Everyone knows how much money you have. Mr. Wang is right. I may not have money, but I am also a man. I can't bear to see my loved one suffer. Don't worry about it. I said I would pay it back for her. 100,000 is a lot of money for me. I don't have the habit of managing finances and saving money. I spend whatever salary I get, and I have almost no extra money to put in the bank every month. This is equivalent to taking away my entire fortune. I've never seen anyone so stupid. If you don't collect 100,000 within this week, don't blame me for being rude. Seeing that he couldn't get what he wanted, Du Ming snorted coldly, said something cruel, pushed me aside and left. I quickly took off my coat, wrapped the frightened Xia Wan'er, and carried her into the car. Brother Hao, you saved me again, how can I repay you? I looked at the snow-white skin under the coat and couldn't help but hug Xia Wan'er tightly. You said you'd help me pay off my debt, so you'd follow me. Xia Wan'er trembled slightly and nodded with a red face. I couldn't wait to kiss her. I like you, Xia Wan'er. I finally got my wish and kissed the beauty, and I felt like I had been given a shot of adrenaline. Du Ming gave me little time to pay back the money, only 5 days. I withdrew all my savings from the bank, but still had a shortfall of 20,000. I gritted my teeth and mortgaged my car. Du Ming didn't look happy the day he got the money. I think it was because I hit him twice in a row. With your IQ, you still want to be a hero and save the beauty. I'm afraid you won't even know how you died. The grapes that are out of reach are sour. I got the beauty that Du Ming couldn't get. I feel happy and don't care what he says. But in the next few days, I found various excuses to ask Xia Wan'er out. Whether it was eating, shopping or watching a movie, she always said she was busy and refused them all. I was just wondering, could it be that Du Ming was right? Would Xia Wan'er just burn her bridges after crossing them? I was anxious all day and decided to go find Xia Wan'er to get things clear. At this moment my cell phone rang and it was Xia Wan'er calling. Brother Hao, I found a good way to make money. I can pay off the money I owe you. She asked me to take the money and come to her right away. Once you miss this opportunity, it will be gone. Her excited voice on the phone didn't sound fake. But I have no money now. Last time I mortgaged my car for tens of thousands of dollars, but I kept that for emergencies. After all, I have no job and no savings now. I feel uneasy if I don't have some emergency money. But when I heard Xia Wan'er say that there was a way to make money, it was impossible for me not to be tempted. Let's go and take a look first. When we arrived at an office building in the downtown area, Xia Wan'er was already waiting on the roadside. It was only then that I realized that she worked in a financial company. The method she was talking about was exactly the gossip she overheard from Mr. Wang's office. Our general manager Wang has always had a good vision. This time he invested 200 million yuan. We'll follow suit. If we can't eat a big piece of meat, it's good to drink some soup. Seeing that I was hesitant, she took out a jade pendant that she always carried with her. Brother Hao, I know you are in trouble now. how about I pawn this jade as capital? I owe you this. I heard from Xia Wan'er that this jade was left to her by her mother before she died, and it is very important to her. We went to the pawn shop together to pawn the jade. Xia Wan'er invested the money in the company she mentioned. Sure enough, within a few days, he made a small profit. She gave me all the money she made except the principal. Only then did I believe what she said. It's all my fault for spending money lavishly and not saving much. Otherwise, we could have turned things around in one go. She complained to herself. I thought about it and handed her the bank card. There are still tens of thousands of dollars in here. Please help me invest in it. When she happily took the bank card, I held her hand and reminded her again and again. This is my life-saving money, so please be extra careful. Don't worry, Brother Hao, you are my savior, I will never lie to you no matter who I lie to. Besides, I found myself falling in love with you. Xia Wan'er blushed and buried her head in my chest. I was so happy that the clouds finally cleared and the moon appeared. I couldn't wait to throw her onto the sofa. The tongue pries open the pearly teeth and conquers the city. After a struggle, both of us were breathless. Xia Wan'er suddenly pushed me away. She pulled the scattered clothes in front of her. This is my first time, I don't want to be so casual. I was confused for a moment. First time. Xia Wan'er looks so beautiful, but she has never been with a man before. I can't believe it. She looked annoyed and shy. What do you mean by that look, humph? I was overwhelmed by lust, and now I heard such good news. I quickly hugged Xia Wan'er and started to coax her. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Once you experience this, I guarantee you'll pester me for it every night. Under Xia Wan'er's insistence, we didn't go any further. Although it is disappointing, there is still a long way to go. I can't follow Du Ming's example and force myself on her. A few days later, Xia Wan'er transferred me 10,000 yuan in dividends. I was so happy. I had never tried making money so easily in my life. I calculated that since the initial capital was tens of thousands of yuan, I could get a dividend of 10,000 yuan in a few days. If I invest more, will I earn more? Maybe he even has enough money to marry a wife. But where can I get more money? I searched around the house and found the deed to the old house left by my parents. I made up my mind and mortgaged it for 200,000 yuan. I threw it all in. Xia Wan'er was also very happy and planned with me how to spend the money after making a lot of money. Where to buy a house, what brand of car to buy, how many tables to book for the wedding banquet. Then, choose a store of suitable size and location to open a gym. I hugged Xia Wan'er and smiled, feeling guilty for having doubted her before. But in the next few days, Xia Wan'er disappeared again. No one answered the phone and no one responded when I knocked on the door. I always felt weird because I didn't know much about her. I had always thought she was a simple woman with simple social relationships. I didn't think too deeply about it. But when you calm down and think about it carefully, there are many unnatural things about her. For example, she never mentioned her past. I have no idea whether my parents are still alive, how many brothers and sisters I have, or where they go to school. Even if I tried to probe her about her situation, she would always laugh it off and avoid the subject. I haven't even been to where she lives. Every time I sent her home, I just sent her downstairs. Later I made various excuses to go up to her, but she refused. Even when I wanted to take a photo with her and post it on WeChat Moments, she refused. I used to think she was shy. But now that we are in this relationship, it really doesn't make sense. The more I thought about it, the more anxious I became. I always felt that Xia Wan'er was hiding something from me. I have a few secretly taken photos of Xia Wan'er in my phone. So I searched online for images, but couldn't find any useful information. I was immediately relieved, at least Xia Wan'er was not a wanted criminal. I remembered where she worked, so I decided to go take a look. But I only know which office building she works in, not which floor. I came to the lobby and observed for a while, and found that the security here was quite standardized. There is an electronic access control in front of the elevator. If you want to enter, you need to swipe your work card. So I randomly found an opened express box from a roadside trash can, put some random things in it and sealed it. I went to the front desk and lied that it was an emergency shipment but the recipient could not be reached. Asked the front desk to check Xia Wan'er's name and contact information for me. The front desk clerk didn't suspect anything, and it seemed that such things were not uncommon. But after searching for a long time, she told me that there was no such person. Are you sure her name is Xia Wan'er? But there is no such person in the access control system. There's no matching phone number. I'm not giving up yet. Do you have a financial company here that specializes in investment management? Yes, there was one, but it closed down half a year ago. My body was half cold. Could it be that Xia Wan'er has been lying to me all along? Just cheat on my feelings. Wouldn't the more than 200,000 yuan I invested be wasted? I dialed Xia Wan'er's number several times, but still no one answered. I sat on the side of the road, unable to accept the fact before me. I didn't notice the phone until it rang for a long time. Brother Hao, I have good news for you. Your investment has doubled, totaling 600,000 yuan including principal and interest. When I heard Xia Wan'er's voice, I woke up as if from a dream. What did she say? Money. 600,000. Seeing that I didn't say anything, she reminded me excitedly. Brother Hao, today is my birthday. I miss you. Can you come and accompany me tonight? Okay, I'll definitely be there. I want to see what tricks she will come up with and how she plans to deceive me. I was thinking to myself that I must expose her true face tonight. Not only do I want my money back, but I also want to get rid of her. If the case is reported to the police station, she will also be charged with fraud, so I don't think she would dare to really call the police. Having made up my mind, I found a roadside stall, had a big meal, and drank some wine to give myself courage. I bought a folding knife at the convenience store at the entrance of the community to use for self-defense. She arrived an hour earlier than the agreed time. I was about to knock on the door when I heard the sound of arguing and quarreling from inside. Are you really hooking up with him? Whether it's true or not is none of your business. Anyway, after today, we'll go our separate ways. You wish. Then there was the sound of a blunt object hitting something and glass falling to the ground. I wanted to put my ear against the door to hear more clearly. Unexpectedly, the door opened with a slight push. The door wasn't locked at all. Could it be a trap? But I don't care about all that. In order to find out the truth, I will go through it even if it means going through hell. Xia Wan'er. Come out. There was no one in the living room. I called out twice, but no one answered. But the TV in the living room was on. Could the quarrel just now have come from the TV? Just as I was puzzled, footsteps were heard behind me. I turned back in fright. Xia Wan'er was seen wearing delicate light makeup, with her hair tied up high, revealing her slender neck. A few strands of hair fell on her snow-white, towering chest. Judging from the shape, she was not wearing anything under her silk nightgown. My Adam's apple rolled up and down and I swallowed. Brother Hao, you're here early. Xia Wan'er took my hand and sat on the sofa. I'll give you a chance to explain it today. I pinched her neck, but she remained calm and kept climbing up my arm. Finally it stopped on my chest. The fire that I tried so hard to suppress was ignited by her jade fingers. In a daze, I heard a knock on the door. Police, open the door. Then there was a sound of chaotic footsteps, and a group of people broke into the room and rushed in. I was handcuffed and forced to kneel on the ground naked. I was stunned and had no idea what was going on. Until Du Ming was carried out from the inner room by the police. There was a knife stuck in Du Ming's chest, which was the one I bought for protection. My head buzzed and I knew I had fallen into a trap. I tried my best to explain that I didn't kill Du Ming, but there were clearly my fingerprints on the knife. The knife shop owner also pointed me out. And the conflict I had with Du Ming before was also known to everyone. The motive for murder could not be more sufficient. Xia Wan'er even accused me of forcing her more than once. The hospital's injury assessment report confirmed that there was my semen in her body. The wounds on her neck were also proven to be caused by me. She also took the initiative to tell me that I gave her some money as a hush money. My heart was completely sank. Her confession was flawless and I had no way to defend myself. I'm afraid I'll really fall into this woman's hands and spend the rest of my life in jail. Overnight, I not only lost the woman and money, but also my freedom. Before being detained, I asked to call my family. I want to give my parents a heads up, lest they get upset when they find out. The police handed me my phone, but I found that I couldn't turn it on. Weird, I fully charged it before leaving home. In a flash, I suddenly remembered something. Recording. My phone is recording. That's why the battery ran out so quickly. I slapped my head and realized that I had forgotten such an important thing. After I told the police, they took my phone to collect evidence. Not long after, someone came running to say that Du Ming had been rescued. He also gave Xia Wan'er away, saying that the whole thing was planned by Xia Wan'er. I was just their prey and Xia Wan'er's scapegoat. On the day I was released, I also learned the whole story from the police. Xia Wan'er and Du Ming are accomplices in fraud and also a couple. This was a trap from beginning to end. Xia Wan'er used her beauty to lure me into a trap, and the appearance of Du Ming solidified our relationship. Originally, they just planned to defraud money from me and disappear. However, the conflict between the two deepened, and Xia Wan'er began to think about breaking up. Du Ming disagreed, so there was an argument. During the dispute, Xia Wan'er accidentally seriously injured Du Ming. At the same time, she suddenly decided to keep the stolen money for herself. Seeing that it was delivered to my doorstep, I decided to go all out. What's even more fortunate is that because of the uneven distribution of the spoils, the money that I was cheated of has remained in Xia Wan'er's hands and has not been touched. The police helped me get it back. But Du Ming used tens of thousands of them to buy lottery tickets, and the police also gave them to me. When I went home and claimed the prize, I actually won the second prize of 5 million. I smiled bitterly. Is this a blessing in disguise? So I used the money to open a gym. The gym business was doing well and I made back my investment in just 1 year. I bought a new car, a big house, and hired a nanny. Bring your parents over from the countryside to live with you. The following year, my gym opened a branch. I also met a girl who is a high school teacher. She has a gentle personality, sweet looks, and most importantly, she is filial to her parents. I am very satisfied with this kind of life.